Good morning, loyal followers. It's me, Titan King, here today to teach you about the thing which has turned me into an unimaginably wealthy animal, the stock market. By the end of this video, you too will be a master of the stock market, making million-dollar deals in mere seconds flat, no regard for your own money or wealth. Here we go, friends, let's learn. Today on Titan Tells and Teaches the Truth, it's the stock market. The stock market is controlled by just four things: love, fear, guessing, and of course, the whims of the planets. In this episode of Titan Teaches the Truth, I'll be teaching you how to hone in with each of these four pillars of stocks so that you too can become a billionaire. I'm here because I don't think they're going to find me in this playground. Get ready for your brain to expand so much with knowledge that you might just end up at the hospital for a too big head, just as I have several times. Let's begin with the first pillar of the stock market: love. What does love even mean? Well, this is a question I found myself asking when I began my stock market journey, and I discovered that love is an emotion which people commonly feel after a birthday party or a marriage. Now, I myself have had neither of those, so I was left to discover what love is on my own. Unfortunately, I was not able to figure out how to feel love, so I had to accept that even for a genius such as myself, complete mastery over the stock market was unobtainable. And thus, I was forced to move on with the other three pillars, which I will henceforth teach you. I mean, who cares about love anyway, right? None of us have ever experienced that. None of us ever will. And that's what makes the stock market and gambling so great. Thus, we move on to the second pillar of mastering the stock market: fear. As a wise man once said to me, "Get out of my house. What are you doing in here? I don't know who you are, and you're not meant to be here." And that man's words have resonated with me greatly. That man understood the power of fear, and I then exploited that fear to reallocate some of his wealth and possessions to myself. Thusly, you too must understand the power of fear when it comes to mastering the stock market. To master the second pillar, fear, is of course to go out there and face your greatest fear. I myself had to face my fear of rejection by exposure therapy. I went out, I asked, 20 or 30 beautiful women on dates, and every single one of them rejected me because I had not yet mastered the stock market. Now, of course, when I do that, it's 20 to 30 yeses, or, yes, please, or yes, sir. In one confusing instance, yes, ma'am. Anyhow, you're going to have to get out there and expose yourself to your greatest fear. Let's say that you're afraid of having kids. Get out there and expose yourself to children. Let's say you are afraid of falling from a high place. Well, guess what? Mountains are free to go on, and you can just go jump off one. Once you have become well acquainted with fear through such exercises, then you'll have to move on to the third pillar of the stock market, which is, of course, guessing. As we all know, the stock market consists of letters in random orders and then arbitrary numbers associated with those letters. Now, of course, experts have spent their whole lives trying to decipher what these letters and numbers mean, but of course, they have not yet been able to discover that. One of the many mysteries of science, which still leaves much of the world baffled. However, we do know that these letters and these numbers can be utilized to increase one's wealth, sometimes exponentially. What you're going to need to do is get really good at guessing which letters are good and which letters are bad. I'll give you a hint right now. The letter J, do not mess with it. Do not mess with that one. I made the mistake several times of buying stocks that had the letter J in their names. And what the hell even happened? Bad stuff. I'll tell you this. The last time I bought a stock that had the letter J in the name, I lost my family. The trick with the stock market is that most of them just go up all the time, so you really don't have to even pick that good. My number one recommendation, and this, of course, is legal stock advice, would be to just buy kind of whatever you want and as many as you can. And that's where the payday loans obviously come in. All right, let's move on to the fourth pillar of the stock market, the whims of the planets. Venus, Mercury, Pluto. These are all planets which have tremendous effect on our day-to-day lives, and of course they have similar effect on the stock market. Pluto's in retrograde. Who knows what that does? The stars are coming out or something, and that probably means, the stocks are going to do something crazy. A couple little tips for you. If the sun is out, the sun, of course, being a planet, that does mean that stock prices are up. If the sun is not out, that means stock prices are down. Venus is closely tied to the food stocks. Mercury is, of course, tied to military stocks. Venus, contraceptives. And who could forget Pluto, the planet which, of course, controls finances altogether. Astrology is one of the most important things to me in my whole life, obviously. And I've often considered starting a secondary YouTube channel, something to the effect of Titan's Astrology Corner or the Tarot Zone or something similar to that. So if you guys are interested in that, just leave a like and a comment down below about how you'd like to see that, and I can get into more of it. Is all this sounding familiar to you? That's right. Gambling is an equally valid form of investment. It operates identically to the stock market because in both scenarios you have no idea if you'll win or lose. There is no skill component. Congratulations, friend. You've mastered the stock market. My name has been Titan King, fellow master of the stock market, entrepreneur, teacher, mentor, and to some people, friend. I'll see you next time in Titan Tells the Truth, where I'll be teaching you a little something I bet you didn't even know. Stay real, friends. Stay real.